Starting with the actuator, 180-pound push, Servo City, attached to this leg right here, goes down to a wheel. Same on the other side, goes right straight through. Plate mount, made a bracket right off of the back here where my thumb is. 2 bolts, just freaking mounted on right there. Like I said, chrome rims, brand new tires. The gearing, I went with aluminum, gives you a little bit more horsepower to the tire. 3 down in the back, 3 up in the back, 1 down in the front. Get over to the seat. I did unbolt it, so it kind of looks a little bit loose right now, but I just wanted to show you the battery and stuff from inside. Both passenger and driver seat are both gel inserted. Helps with breakdown, anything like that. You don't want to get breakdown, so helps it pad out. I do want to point out that the corner right there is broke off. When you step back, you don't see it from the whole bike, but I mean, it's a small break. You don't really notice it. As far as the back blinkers, LED, small chrome, almost like a flush mount, but not. Yoshimura exhaust. I'll start it up in a little bit so you can hear it. If you do have a stand, I did put these on so that way you can take the rear tire off, change it yourself instead of paying somebody else. A little bit cheaper, you know. I always like to save money. Polish rear sets. I don't have the plates on there that I had originally made for it. Something that you can definitely make real easy, or you could actually use them actually just the way they are, as long as you secure your feet in with like bungee cords or something like that. Something that you're not stuck on the bike with, but keeps your feet from sliding around. Chrome swing arm. Does have some pitting in it. This side isn't that bad. The other side has a little bit more. I do want to point out that down here, right there, there's a little chip. A little bit of pitting, if you can see it in the very corner there, and then in the very corner right there. I mean, a tiny bit of pitting on this side. A little bit more on the other side, but it's not too noticeable until you get up to it. On the frame here, you see these scuffs. That's actually because I ended up bolting it to a stand that I made so I could work on it myself from a wheelchair. I mean, it's just a little bit of rub. If you really want to fix it, you can, but I mean, it really doesn't stand out that much. Pingle shifter. I ended up cutting the shifter off a little bit so that way it doesn't get in the way of your foot when it's trying to shift. Crash cage. It's got a tiny scuff on this side. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's not really showing up that great, but it's a tiny little scuff right here. Not much at all. And you can buy new ones for like dirt cheap anyway if you really get anal about things. Chrome cover. Actually, we'll take a look at the seat. So you get your battery in there, all your wires for your pingle shifter, all the actuator wires and stuff. That battery is the blue thing right there. That's actually a gel battery. If you don't know what the difference between gel and acid and the liquid acid, look it up on Google and you'll find the gel battery is definitely better off. I'm just going to set it on top for right now. Controls, looking down at the bike, you got your chrome triple tree, chrome clip-ons, bar ends, grips. The grips are actually a little bit bigger, so on the throttle side you have a little bit less turn, so you get more throttle faster. You got your chrome reservoir for the brake, front brake. Right here is the thumb. That's the thumb brake. So this is your rear. That's fully engaged. That's not. Just ease on a little bit. It doesn't take much, and you're good to go. Works real good. Most people use front brakes anyway. I mean, 70% of your braking's out front. right from here, you can brake, shift up, shift down, whichever way you want to shift up. Clutch right there. I did use all factory parts for making the thumb brake, except for the lever itself. All the other parts are actually from this bike, just relocated and reassembled and made brackets to make it fit right there. Flush blinkers in the front, LEDs. Obviously the chrome rim in the front too, brand new tire also. Let's go on the other side. Sorry about all the movement, but only one way to move in a chair when you're holding it up, holding the camera with one hand. I did lay it down on this side very, very softly in dirt. Small scratches surface scratches, nothing major. I lost a little bit of that in the 600 RR. A little bit of that kind of got scraped off. Basically, chrome swing arm on this side. A little bit more pitting on this, but I mean it really isn't that bad. And you get a little tiny chip right there. And basically, this is the other arm that comes down on the other side. That's where I laid it down in the sand. All I did was I painted it, and the paint kind of wore off just by getting scuffed up. Just wanted to leave it like that so you knew what hit and what didn't. Same thing on this side. You got all the polished stuff, chrome cover. Same on this side for the end cap. When I did lay it down, a couple of small scratches right there, scuffs on that, but I mean nothing major at all. And then you got your throttle. Kept the bar end off of the throttle a little bit. Didn't want it to get stuck, so it sticks out a little bit. You have a little bit of gap there, and a little bit, because it did get stuck on it once, I ended up bending up the metal a little bit, kind of sanded it back down. It's a little bump, nothing major. Right here, in front of that red switch, this is your switch for up and down. So if I switch hands here, so I use my pointer finger as I'm doing it, just point it. I mean, it's really easy. You can relocate it if you want. That was the best location I found for it. Then you get your front brake right there too, so you don't have to worry about that. Plastic doesn't line up completely snug right there. I mean, that's a minor thing. You don't really notice until you get right up to it. Just trying to point out every little flaw that there is. I mean, trying to make it best for you. Same thing on this side. That's where I mounted the bracket to get it up in the air so I could actually work on it from a wheelchair. I mean, I'd rather have everything done right and get on it and know it's all safe than have somebody else do it and possibly have problems, you know. Flush blinkers. The mirrors, like I said, I got the mounting points for them. You can find mirrors for it that are not that expensive actually, and you can put them on there. I can actually send you the ones that I have for them that don't fit 100%. You can use them, but they don't fit in that hole perfectly, and I like everything to fit. I just never get around to getting another set. Another small thing that I wanted to point out too was that little bit of a chip on the front fender. Can't really see it because it's on the front very edge. I mean, when you're standing up or if you're rolling around it in your wheelchair, you'll very minimally notice it. On the front here, it did hit in that dirt. Right there's a couple small scuffs. Like I said, I'm just trying to point out every little flaw that I can. I did, when I went through this whole bike, I polished up every single bolt. All these bolts are all polished straight up. Makes them nice and shiny. Looks good. Kind of anal about that stuff. Other than that, let's start it up real quick. what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my lap right now, and then I'm just going to start it up so you can get the voice. It's just going to go blank for a second here. It's not warmed up, so I don't want to rev it too high, but just give you an idea.